What's up, everyone? I'm Tam Toe for Press Start, and I'm joined here by John and Paul. And today we're going to be talking about big news this week, the Nintendo Direct live stream just on Thursday.
Yeah, very big.
So starting things off, they started off with a pretty big reveal, didn't they? Like,
Yes, they did.
With some little Super Smash Bros. News. John, who'd they reveal?
Little Mac.
Yeah.
It was a very well put together trailer. It was cool how they had just a good intro with him working out in the gym and stuff like that, and they finished it off with some good gameplay.
Really like the art style of that intro too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't just great 2D style and everything.
Did you guys play Punch Out?
Oh my god, I played Super Punch Out as a kid, like all the time.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm a Super Nintendo fanatic. So but yeah, I mean this game, it looks like it's just getting better and better with every new character they're releasing. I mean, there's so much hype around it because Brawl came out in 2006 or something. So
it's been a while since we had a Smash Bros. Game. Yeah, it's been quite a while. These games are once in a blue moon.
As long as this game doesn't have any Nintendogs in it, I'm cool. So
there's gonna be Nintendogs, trust me.
And the Wii Fitness dude, or girl, or whatever.
But moving on, we have some Mario Kart 8 news. They've already the release date, first of all, is May 30th. So quite a ways away. I mean, it's going to be a long, grueling couple of months.
I know.
For Wii U owners.
It's not that bad, but at least it's going to be it looks really.
Hey, Wii U's getting a game, guys!
Finally.
But also, there's a new trailer shown at the Direct with all the Koopalings. All 7 of Bowser's Koopalings will be playable.
Yep. Which is, and I like the. It's just a beautiful looking game, just well made.
I'm just happy that my girl Toadette's in it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only reason I like playing as her, I like seeing her little mushroom bobs on the back of her hair, just bouncing up and down. I think it looks adorable.
Yeah. That's what they all say.
That's my guilty pleasure. That's my guilty pleasure, everyone. All right. So moving on. There was some information about the Steel Diver sequel. Does anyone remember that game for 3DS?
Steel Diver. Well, no, actually. When I just watched Nintendo Direct, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Not know how big of a fan I am for first-person submarine shooters, but I mean, I guess if you're into that kind of stuff.
How many submarine first-person shooters are there,
Yeah, There's not a submarine simulator 2014
When's Call of Duty submarine warfare, it's not going to happen. So it's called Steel Diver Sub Wars, I believe.
Yeah.
And not like submarine sandwiches, not like throwing subs at each other. But there's it's interesting because it has two ways that you can purchase the game. Well, purchase one of them and the other one's free.
You start off the demo and if you like it.
No, that's the thing though, because it's not really. I don't think it's really a demo, but the free version, you can get the full entire multiplayer package. You're only limited to 2 ships though, but you can play with people who have the full version as well.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of it's kind of like a try it before you buy it.
Yeah.
But not necessarily a demo because you don't really have a limit on how many times you can play it.
That's pretty cool that they give you the ability to play with people that have the full version. That way you can get the experience.
And the paid version, which is $9.99, will have 7 single-player missions as well as the same access as everyone else to the multiplayer games, and also with all these submarine types available. So I'm guessing certain submarines will be faster or slower.
Yeah, I mean
different weaponry.
At least they give you a good variety, I guess.
And I believe the release date for that was right after the Direct, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
So
right after that.
So if you're interested in that, you guys can pick it up.
If that is your forte,
go for
it. If you're into throwing submarine sandwiches at people, I mean, that might be right up your alley. All right. So next is really interesting. So you want to explain the Rusty's Real Deal Baseball?
Rusty's Real Deal. Well, okay. From what I saw, when you start off the game, it starts off at Rusty's Shack, and then there's from there you start off, and there's various game types, either from batting practice, pitching, catching, even practicing to be an umpire. That's pretty cool. But then just a general baseball game. But what I found cool was how they do in-game purchases, like, or actually how you would buy the mini games within it.
Like it's an interesting new take on the microtransaction.
Yeah, exactly.
model. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which seems like that's becoming like more and more popular.
Yeah.
You know.
and I think it does, it is time for like a good change in like in-game transactions.
But going in depth about that microtransaction model that you were mentioning, you can actually like haggle the price down and like barter with Rusty.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So like if you perform certain things in the mini games, like you get certain items that Rusty wants, like for example donuts. If you give him a donut, he's in a good mood. He's more willing to haggle the price down to you. Which
Yeah.
I thought it was funny because in the direct trailer, they covered up like the discounted price.
Yeah.
So it could range from like either like getting this thing for absolutely free or 1 cent.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Well, hopefully they do like justice and say, all right, you get at least a good amount off. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's really unheard of though to like actually like barter for like microtransaction prices like you
Yeah.
would in the
And
real world.
I don't even know if like is that in any other game out right now?
I don't think so.
I haven't seen any.
Hey,
personally.
Nintendo, kings of innovation, even when it comes to microtransactions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone needed to do it.
So this news got me really excited. I know you're really excited about this one,
Yeah.
Paul. The NES Remix 2. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay. It basically NES Remix 1 is already out, but Remix 2 is totally awesome because it has so many staples of just classic Nintendo gaming in it. They have the original Metroid in there. I think Zelda 2's in there or Zelda 1.
And those weren't in the original NES Remix, were they?
No,
No,
they
no.
weren't. So, like, basically, they're just doing a huge service to the fans.
Yeah.
And you could play Metroid as Link,
Yeah.
something like that. And another thing they're doing is they're calling it Super Luigi Brothers, where basically
that, yeah.
you play as Luigi, but you play every level backwards.
They did something like
Yeah.
that with the original game, but it was like only like a few levels or one level.
Right.
So like they're doing it with like all 8 worlds.
The whole game, So.
Yeah, I got really excited when I saw like Samus doing morph balls on the Mario block.
Yeah, me
It
too.
reminded me of like there was a Flash game online a couple years ago where it was Super Mario Bros, but you could choose like other Nintendo Entertainment System characters like Ryu Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
the guy from Contra,
Oh,
Mega
nice.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
But obviously they can't do that for
Yeah.
NES Remix too. But
Well, what I was wondering is like, I wonder if they're gonna have like the warp levels in there, and you do the warp backwards or anything like that.
oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy. I can't wait for SNES Remix.
Yeah,
Oh.
if that ever comes out,
Yeah,
it will.
I think
Oh, it will,
they
yeah.
definitely should.
If they do SNES Remix, they gotta have like Chrono Trigger, Link to the Past,
Oh,
like
for sure, yeah.
Final Fantasy VI. I don't know if they would do if they could really.
Like the third-party
Super
games,
Mario
but
World, I mean-
Super Mario World. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want me to nerdgasm all over this.
By
alright?
the way, Super Mario Brothers 3 is another game that's
Oh, yeah.
coming out for that. So
So, yeah.
I know everybody loves that game. So.
So moving away from the retro stuff, we have for the 3DS Mario Golf World Tour.
Oh, Mario Golf. I had, was it, forget what the, for the advanced. I was like when I saw this, I was like, holy crap. Like, because I'm a weird person like that, I guess. I'm like, I like Mario Golf games. But Mario Golf Advanced Tour, like, oh my God, when I saw this, I was like, oh man, it's so cool.
Did you play the one on the N64?
Nah.
Okay.
No, I only played one for the Game Boy Advance, but I put so much hours in that game, and I was like, and when I saw this, I was like, it's so cool. Like, then they brought it back, or like they're continuing on with it because it's one game I really enjoyed.
I always think the Mario sports games are very underrated. I mean, I played a lot of Mario Tennis.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mario
Mario
Tennis.
Strikers.
I've never played
Mario
Strikers.
Mario
It's
Strikers is a
sweet.
lot of fun. I
Oh,
recommend
yeah.
you play that. The original Mario Golf on N64, I think that was the original one.
Was it?
That was
Yeah,
the
I
first
think it
Mario
was,
Golf.
too. I remember playing with my cousin or something.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
it hasn't aged well. I would say like the controls are kind of clunky and everything. But yeah,
I mean, at the time, it seemed probably like the greatest.
But
game.
as far as I'm pretty
I'm
much anxious to-
intrigued in Mario Golf World Tour. I'm hoping they. Oh, by the way, release date is May 2nd,
Okay.
so not too far away this spring. But also, I'm hoping they come out with a demo because I'd really like to try it.
Yeah, and then and they what was it the single player they redid was it I forget what Something with a club. I can't put my thumb on it. What the heck
well,
was it?
maybe it'll come back to
But
you
yeah,
later.
probably
We'll be talking about something else, and
Yeah.
then you'll just like jump up.
Yeah,
and,
like, "Well, I find it out."
yeah. But sticking with the May 2nd release dates and the 3DS games, Kirby Triple Deluxe, which you guys into Kirby at all? I
haven't played that much Kirby. But
Yeah, that's the same way with me. But like,
unfortunately,
I was actually a fan of like, what was that? What was a Kirby where it was paper style? I can't put.
Epic Yarn.
Yeah. Epic Yarn.
Well, you can't not be a fan of that game when you play it because it's so darn adorable. You know?
That's true. That is very true.
I actually played the Kirby Triple Deluxe. Reminds me of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was released on the Wii. The art style seems very like similar. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, excuse me. Then you just simply name these instead of like Kirby Triple Deluxe. But Kirby's Return to Dreamland, it had like these cool abilities where you could get superpowers and like pull out a giant sword or make a giant fireball, things like that. So I think the gimmick in Kirby Triple Deluxe is like actually Street Pass comes into play.
Oh yeah,
as,
getting I know the
so like
social
you can have
connections.
so you can have your own Street Pass Miis or other Street Pass Miis throwing you items while you're doing the level, and if they own the game, they give you better items like Maximum Tomatoes, things like that. So it's kind of cool how Nintendo is really incorporating.
And when you were saying about like, I like the one thing they had in there was the beetle, like the horn hat.
Yeah, they were really
like,
showcasing like a lot of moves and combo varieties for those.
So it looks like a really solid.
It looks like a
really
simple
solid
game to play,
game.
but like there are mechanics to it, you know, which is really impressive. So props to Sakurai and his development team for coming up with like another. What's sure to be like another good Kirby game. And also continuing with the 3DS news, on March 14th, Yoshi's New Island.
Very excited for that too.
Yeah, me too.
So you guys play the original Yoshi's
Oh,
Island?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm actually playing it right now.
Really? Just
yeah.
replaying it?
Yeah, replaying it right on my Super Nintendo. Not emulating,
The original. That's the only way to play it. Like
Yeah.
it's like you got the classic controller in your hand, ready to go.
Yeah, well, I think there was another Yoshi's Island that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, for the Game Boy Advance, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just
There's also Yoshi's Story on N64. That game was a lot of fun, I thought.
yeah.
Do you guys remember that one?
I didn't.
It kind of fell by the wayside, I feel.
Did it?
Like I feel like I'm the only one that's ever played it
Yeah, like-
in my life.
Tam is the
really-
only person in the world.
Yeah,
ever
I
played
remember
the
seeing
64
ads
version of it.
for it, and I just
Yeah. One sale for Yoshi's Story on the N64.
But
they have
it
new
does-
abilities.
Oh yeah, like the mega
The
egg
giant
dozer,
eggs,
mega
yeah.
egg dozer, and then they have the metal
The
egg
metal,
dozer.
yeah. It
and
seems
stuff like
like I
that.
don't know. It seems like they also have the that wing power up, which reminds me of the gold Tanuki suit from Super Mario 3D World. Like if you're doing badly, they give it to you.
Yeah.
I don't
Same
like that
thing, yeah.
Nintendo keeps doing that. You know.
No.
But the one thing they wanted to make sure was like, if you came into the game, like anybody could just pick it up and play it.
Right.
Like that's what they. I mean, that's what they were trying to really.
That's
convey,
Nintendo's
but it-
mantra, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and-
Especially for Yoshi's New Island.
And so that younger people can sort of grow with the game as
Yeah.
you get older.
Yeah.
Probably die a lot. When
Yeah,
you're
but
six,
we grew up without that stuff.
Yeah,
You know.
we were
Back in
hardcore
my
back in the
day.
day. Come on.
I was punching Mike Tyson over and over. All right, so continuing on with our 3DS rampage, it seems, is Pokemon Battle Trose coming out on March 20th. It's the sequel to the original Pokemon Trose game for the DS. Have you guys ever played or touched that game?
I have never played it, but when I was watching their trailer, I grasped the idea of the game.
It's kind of it's like kind of like Panel de Pon if you guys ever played that with the like kind of rotating and switching pieces to match up like similar icons. You
It'd
know?
be like almost like a Bejeweled kind of
Yeah,
style.
something
Yeah.
interesting though is that they said there was going to be 4-player co-op.
Co-op puzzle games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know that never works out. When you think of like games like like Panel de Pon or Pokemon, they're competitive.
Yeah.
So like if you
Yeah.
combine the two and then make it co-op, I'm not quite sure how that works.
I don't know. I think it's gonna bring a new, like a good element to the game. I mean,
Well,
I mean, what do you got to lose? For
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
thing. So I mean, heck, it's worth a try. I mean.
so continuing.
It could work out good.
Continuing on, another 3DS title coming out February 28th, Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy.
So that's a continuing series in the
Yeah.
DS.
It is.
You
Yeah,
guys,
third
have you guys followed the Professor Layton series?
No, but
They're very fun.
my sister is a hardcore Professor Layton.
yeah.
She's dedicated to that. I mean, that's about the only way.
She's got Layton posters and everything.
Well, I
in her
want to say
room.
that dedicated, not like, oh my God, I'm so much. Not like that. No, it's, just as soon as she finds out the next game, we're like, when she found this coming out, it's like, I gotta have it.
So up next, continuing our escapade of 3DS titles,
More
Monster
3DS.
Hunter 4 Ultimate. I'm super excited about that.
Oh.
Have you guys ever been into the Monster Hunter series at all?
Oh yeah, I've messed around in 3 a little bit on the Wii U.
Yeah.
But it's basically one of the most amazing games Nintendo has ever put out. So
Yeah.
I have high expectations for 4.
Yeah, it's already out. It's Monster Hunter 4, the vanilla version, has already been out in Japan for a while now. So it's always like this with the US. We get the Ultimate version with everything packaged in, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about
And also something that wasn't in the 3DS version of Monster Hunter Tri-Ultimate, it was online co-op.
Yeah.
Which it was in the Wii U version, but absent in the 3DS version. But in the 3DS for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, there's going to be online co-op for that as well.
I just love the idea now that like even aside from Nintendo, like all next gen consoles are sort of doing with their play on the system, then play on the handheld.
Yeah,
and
like
you
the
can still play
Vita
same
and the
file.
PS4.
Yeah, I mean, and I just think with Monster Hunter, it's such a great game to do that because there's so much stuff to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So-
I can't tell you how many hours I've sunk into Monster Hunter, like as a whole, like the whole franchise, like since the PSP.
It's
since
almost
they moved to Nintendo.
yeah, it's almost like you need your 3DS just to get just to touch base with everything in the game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need that many hours in the day.
Yeah. Anything to add, John? You,
No,
I take it you're a big Monster Hunter fan.
Well, I don't want to brag or anything like that.
All right, so next up, they revealed this interesting little game. I want to call it almost like a spoof game. It's called Weapon Shop Deomase.
The weapon building RPG.
Yeah, it's from Level 5, and it's another one of the Guildo 1 games, releasing February 20th. It's basically like you're in an RPG, but you're the weapon shop dealer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting.
You
It's
know,
like
crafting swords and all that kind of
and they
stuff.
added a really cool like rhythm game kind of
Yeah, the way
style
to help you,
when you like pound the metal, pound the hot metal, things like that.
which is it keeps it fun.
It looks like it has a really lighthearted feel to it. It's really like really self-aware, probably taking advantage of a lot of JRPG tropes. And it's cool to see from another perspective, like the weapon shop dealer who just stands behind the counter.
Yeah,
all
really.
day.
I mean, that's a really different take on something,
Yeah.
but I'm sure it will be. Oh, it'll be fun. I think it would
Weapon
be fun.
Shop Deomase, February 20th. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Next up, if I can flip my page here, we have Inazuma 11, the soccer RPG. Have you guys
I haven't
interested at all?
I don't think I even remember seeing that in the video.
No,
It's from level 5, just like Weapon Shop Deomase.
Okay.
What it boils down to really is you build a soccer team with like each player has their own stats, things like that. You set up the strat and everything, the positions, and then it plays out like a soccer game.
Yeah, and when you
But,
get into
like-
the game, it actually feels like you're, action.
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
And the cool thing is like there's like encounters. So like if you like run into another player while you're dribbling, it goes into like an encounter, like a battle.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah. And there's like things like super moves. It looks super anime.
Yeah.
Literally, it looks.
Really over exaggerated super moves.
Yeah. Like if you ever seen.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, that's how soccer should be played.
It's like a soccer, an anime about soccer just put right into the 3DS. Literally, it looks just like it.
So many 3DS games coming
Yeah.
out,
Dude, they're
which is great. By the
It's
way.
great.
Not
It's
complaining.
great. The 3DS is it's picking up a lot of wind. So
Yeah.
really enjoying that. Next up, Nintendo eShop is getting a lot of indie titles. Nintendo really made sure to make a section specifically for the indie title. So
And some of the games they do have look solid, like Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight has gained a lot of hype over the past few months.
Just you're a knight and you have a shovel.
Yeah.
But it's cool. The style of it has the 8-bit.
It harks back to the olden days.
Yeah, and that's another thing I noticed too. Like a lot of the games that they showed are like really going back to the originals of like art style wise.
That's a real common theme in these indie titles, I believe. Yeah. So like Retro City Rampage,
Yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
like top-down Grand Theft Auto type game.
Yeah.
It looks a lot of fun. 1001 Spikes seems to be bringing back that classic difficulty.
Yeah, I was gonna say that game looks like it's gonna make you like really like I can only imagine how mad.
Treasure Knots as well, and also Moon Chronicles, which will be. Has there ever been an FPS on the 3DS?
I
don't know.
Wasn't
They
there
said this is
like
like
a
the first
call-
like
no,
legitimate
no.
one, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I guess Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS was
Yeah.
first person.
I
if you
liked
remember.
it. I like that, but
The control style was very interesting to say the least.
I thought. Wow. I was trying to think back of of any other first-person shooters.
I
on
can't
DS.
think of
I
any.
can't even remember because
It's not really
Exactly.
designed for first-person shooters, but Moon Chronicles looks like it could make it work. So that's interesting, to say the least. All right, next up we have an Ubisoft title that's going to be downloadable only on the Wii U. Finally detracting away from
Yeah.
the 3DS.
Yeah.
The Wii U's just been yanking my arm.
let's
Like,
not
come on,
forget
talk
the
about
Wii
me. But yeah, we've got Ubisoft's developed Child of Light. Have you guys?
I was when I was watching the trailer, and it looks like a very, I don't know, dark in a way too, but
Minimalistic, I would say.
Yeah, like that. It was kind of ironic to the name.
It's really stylistic, really like side-scrolling RPG.
Yeah, it's
essentially.
it's a beautiful game, very beautiful.
It looks really mysterious to me. I really want to delve into it just to see what it.
Just to see what it's about. And
Yeah,
stuff
what
like
it's
that.
about, because it seems like really discreet in the way it's like telling us what the
Yeah.
true intent behind it is. Also, Paul, I know you were really excited about this. The Game Boy Advance games
Yeah.
coming to the Virtual Console.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could sort of tell I'm sort of into that stuff. Yeah. They got. What do they have coming out? They have Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, Metroid Fusion, which is a great installment of Metroid. It's sort of, it's almost as good as Super Metroid to me.
Oh, that's saying a lot. Super
Yeah.
Metroid was probably my favorite Metroid.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there.
And also Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3.
Yeah, and so that's just another port of Yoshi's Island. But what's wrong with that? But yeah, with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Saga, not Star.
Starga.
Starga. I don't know if any of our viewers have gotten a chance to play that.
I've
back
never
in the
played
day.
Superstar Saga, so like I would definitely be interested in playing that.
I hope they like when they bring it on to the, the consoles and stuff like that. It transitions well, like quality wise. I'm saying, like going from the advanced to the virtual console and stuff like that. I just hope it looks good because you don't want like a pixelated piece of garbage, But
Yeah.
so
And
hopefully they do
also,
well at.
also on the Japanese Nintendo Direct, they announced 4 other titles for the GBA Virtual Console. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but they have Mario Advance 2, WarioWare, 5 new titles. I'm sorry, WarioWare, Advance Wars.
Oh, that's essential. I hope that comes to US.
Yeah, Golden Sun, which
Oh.
yeah,
that's
I'm
another
super excited about that one.
Great handout
And
RPG.
F-Zero, which I wanted F-Zero in the Direct, but I guess the Japanese Direct had F-Zero for the Virtual Console. So
Yeah, it's
close.
kind of disappointing that the only new game you really get is Superstar Saga because
It's very
I know
limited.
the ambassadors
yeah,
Already
the Ambassadors program.
had the other 2 games out for a while, but it's great they're finally letting other people get a hold of this.
And just to clarify, those last 5 titles that I listed off were only on the Japanese Nintendo Direct. So whether or not they come to the U.S., time will tell.
Wow, so much for helping us, Tam. All right. What's that going to do?
Hey, I'm
can't go home and do that.
I'm just vomiting out the news here. Okay. That was a poor choice of words, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a good visualization.
But next up on our Wii U games coming out is X from Xenoblade Chronicles director Tetsuya Takahashi. If you guys ever played Xenoblade
Oh, you,
Chronicles.
Paul. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I know I go to GameStop and Xenoblade Chronicles is still like $60 there. So, I mean, just like, I think it's a great RPG, and
It is phenomenal.
you know, and
Wow.
it's about time that Nintendo sort of gets their own staple of the RPGs back. You
Kind of
know?
put their foot in the door and be like, hey, we can make RPG games too.
Yeah, because you know they used to be, the #1 company.
I think the last real JRPG they made was probably Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It
Yeah.
was a long time ago. But
Gino
no,
for Smash. I'm just saying.
but I don't know. Is Xenoblade Chronicles, is that a direct sequel or?
It's still
X is a-
unclear. It's I want to call it for now. I just want to call it a spiritual successor because
Okay.
the battle system looks very similar. It looks like a more polished version of Xenoblade Chronicles with the added feature of getting in the mech and just shooting stuff.
Yeah.
So it looks really tight. Like, yeah, if you looked at the footage, it was just numbers flying everywhere. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is awesome.
Being in the mech looked like really
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah, and also like the trailer that they showed in one of last year's Nintendo Directs, they had like the free roaming, like just running through the world. It looked absolutely gorgeous. Like you'd be surprised that it came from a Nintendo.
Yeah,
console.
that's one thing I didn't notice how well, just how beautifully well it looked.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have Bayonetta 2. So I don't know if you guys played the original Bayonetta.
2.
much.
No, I did not play the original Bayonetta 2,
Well-
but I know.
You guys are killing me here.
I know I'm missing out on.
Bayonetta is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I'm not gonna lie. It's you guys.
It's
I
very,
definitely recommend.
very
it.
fast paced. Very, very.
Definitely recommend you guys play that. Like I've always been a fan of like those action hack and slash games like Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Rising.
yeah.
I've always been into those games and like the meta of it. So Bayonetta 2, it still does not have a solid release date. I was so amped
left
up
in
to
the
hear
dark.
like a solid release date, but then they just flashed available in 2014, and I
Nintendo's
just like
good at that.
Yeah.
Very good at that. It's like, here, it's 2014.
yeah.
Take your guess.
And that was it for the for all the announcements that they made at Nintendo Direct. So like overall thoughts about the Direct? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
I thought it was a very solid Direct. You
Yeah.
know, they didn't leave you hanging or anything like that. I mean, of course, release dates stuff like that. But when you left it, you're like, that was pretty awesome. You know?
I want to say I was a little underwhelmed because
Me too. I would have to say that.
every Direct I go in hoping like for like an E3 presentation or
well,
something, you know?
yeah.
But yeah, it was for what was revealed. I'm happy.
Yeah, I would say it's satisfactory. They didn't
Satisfactory.
They didn't release anything like that was as mind blowing as like with the new Hyrule.
Hyrule Warriors. I was
Yeah.
kind of bummed that they didn't cover anything about that.
Yeah, because that's one game that
so excited.
Yeah.
that's one game that I've just had my eye on for since they've announced it, and I was like kind of hoping they would let me know.
I guess Tecmo Koei is still working on it because that was an alpha build that they showed
Yeah.
in the
So
previous Nintendo Direct. So just doing a little bit more polishing, getting that Dynasty Warriors grime off of it. not smacking on Dynasty Warriors because I absolutely love Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
They're a guilty pleasure of mine. But so yeah, overall we thought it was
it
pretty.
was okay. I'd say 7 out of 10, but which is
think
I
it's
don't know.
appropriate.
I mean,
think
that's
that'd
just
be appropriate. I'm not saying it'd be like 10 out of 10, like, oh my gosh.
yeah. I'm excited, for what's coming out next month. I hope this just, is just scratching the surface.
Yeah,
of
well,
what
like
we're
between
kind
like the Smash Bros. Reveal, Mario Kart 8 trailer, and Bayonetta, and the X footage, I'm just really excited. So I'd say overall verdict for the Direct was like, solid. It was a solid Direct.
Pretty solid.
Between all the reveals.